Sinai-Grace doesn't turn a deaf ear to hospital noise. Think twice before asking your doctor for an antibiotic and boost your heart health with that apple a day. These stories and more coming up on Sinai-Grace Today. Hello, I'm Lesley Harding in for Melanie Moss. Shh, healing's in progress. There's a new push at Sinai-Grace Hospital for employees and visitors to go about their business quietly. Research out of the University of Chicago finds that noise levels in a patient's room can approach the level of a chainsaw, and this is far from a great way to heal.
It is important for patients to get proper rest while they're here in the hospital so that they can heal and go home soon. Machines and monitors are beeping or alarming to alert staff. However, patients need quiet to be able to rest and heal appropriately.
Researchers found that not all noise is created equal. Sharp sounds from machines and monitors are much worse to patient healing than voices.
Some of the machines can be much noisier, and sometimes it isn't even just the level of noise, but it's the noise that's made. Screeching noises versus, soft whispers, and the clanging of carts, and the high-pitched whistle of some of our alarms can be particularly distressing to people.
Researchers say it's not just noise levels that are disruptive to the healing process. If a test or administering medicine can wait, hospital staff are encouraged to wait until the patient is awake. Looking to stifle your sniffle and sneeze and think that asking your doctor for an antibiotic is the answer? Think again. Antibiotics don't work on viruses, the common cause of colds and the flu. They only work on bacteria-based conditions. Not only won't it help them heal faster, but antibiotic resistance is one of the country's fastest growing public health problems. As bacteria become stronger in warding off antibiotics, new bacteria strains develop that can be more difficult and expensive to treat. To avoid a cold, steer clear of people who have cold symptoms and wash your hands frequently. The best way to prevent the flu is by getting a flu shot. Contact Sinai-Grace to find out where you can get your vaccination. If your loved one is terminally ill, you may want to consider hospice care. Hospice's goal is to increase the quality of the patient's life and provide support to family members.
We are involved as soon as a physician identifies that he has a patient that their diagnosis is within a 6-month or less period. Generally, the physician will contact our office once they've stated that there is nothing more clinically that can be done for a patient within a hospital setting or at home. We have a full team, an interdisciplinary team is what we call it. The team basically consists of the hospice physician that rounds on the patient daily, and then we have a full-time RN that is accessible to family and to the patient that's rounding along with the doctor, social work, spiritual care, music therapy, and also a certified nursing assistant.
Sinai-Grace Hospital has the Rhea Hiles Seasons Hospice and Palliative Care Unit, the first of its kind in Michigan.
Basically, I believe that it is the passion that is extended from the bedside with our physicians, the care and the positiveness, dealing with families that are going through such a very hard time in their lives. To have a team of individuals that come in and not only do they understand what they are going through, because they may have had their own experience personally with the service or with death and dying, but also to be able to extend to them that level of passion that you really cannot get on a general floor or just providing care for patients day to day.
To reach the Rhea Hiles Seasons Hospice, call 1-800-370-8592 or seasons.org. An apple a day may indeed keep the doctor away by boosting your heart health. Researchers at Florida State University found that postmenopausal women who ate 1 or 2 apples a day for 6 months slashed their LDL or bad cholesterol levels by almost a quarter, and they lost about 3 pounds. Apples include fiber that blocks cholesterol absorption and antioxidants that promote cellular growth. Try throwing some diced apples on your morning oatmeal or in a salad, or get creative with an apple soup. For all your heart health needs, contact a Sinai-Grace Hospital heart doctor at 313-966-4800. Are you limping or walking differently because of pain in your knee? Jacquelyn Moore says you could have something called runner's knee.
It's known as runner's knee, but you don't have to be an athlete to experience excruciating pain in your knee. I talked with sports medicine Doctor Shelly Street to find out exactly what causes this painful condition and how you can prevent it.
Well, most commonly, runners complain about knee pain in the front of the knee or around or about the kneecap, around or about the patella tendon, which attaches the kneecap to the bones of the lower leg. So they come in complaining of a lot of pain when they run in the front. Sometimes it gets a little bit better the more they run, and then they get to a point where it gets worse. A lot of women and men have pain in the front of the knee. Commonly, they'll complain about going up and down steps or getting in and out of a car or getting up from a seated position. So it's very common, and it can happen in everybody. It doesn't have to just be runners, but because it happens a lot in runners, we've gotten to call it a runner's knee. Most of the time, it's the kneecap that's pushing on the bone of the leg, or there's not good control of that kneecap. Some people actually have arthritis underneath the kneecap, and so it's rubbing. Other people just don't have strong enough quadricep muscles to hold it. And then sometimes you get an irritation of the patella tendon, and so you get a patella tendonitis or a quadricep tendonitis. There's lots of things that you can do. The first thing most people start with is just icing it, taking a little bit of a break. And if that doesn't work or help after a few days, you can try some anti-inflammatory or Tylenol we usually start with. And then as things progress, or if people need even more help, we can try things like physical therapy that helps a lot with strengthening the muscles around the knee. We then go into trying things like injections, various different types of injections depending upon if the tendon is more of the problem or if the bone is more of the problem. And we move on to doing things, even braces that will help maneuver or govern how the kneecap is moving in space so that people don't have as much discomfort. Most of the time, you don't have a 100% cure. If you fail all of those, then we do have some surgical options and interventions. The surgical options and interventions, sometimes if the tracking is a problem, can completely alleviate that. But once you've caused the damage or you rubbed off a component of your chondromalacia or undersurface of your kneecap, then we don't have a way currently of growing it back. If you're running or you're doing a lot, the first thing you want to do is quickly take some time off. Don't try to run through it, and try to figure out exactly what's wrong so that you can rectify the problem before it gets worse, and that it doesn't continue to be a lingering problem that you have ongoing, and you don't make the damage more. So if we can catch it early, then we do a better job with trying to prevent you from having subsequent symptoms down the line.
To keep your knees in great shape, contact the Sinai-Grace Sports Medicine Doctor at 313-966-4800. I'm Jacquelyn Moore for Sinai-Grace Today.
And finally, we appreciate your patience during our construction. Things are moving right along. On November 2nd, we held a topping out ceremony at Sinai-Grace. The last steel beam was put in place before the brick and mortar. Now the expanded ED is really going to take shape.
Today we have a rain delay. We don't have any guys working outside on the exterior, but we do have guys working on the inside. Currently in the powerhouse, we're running chill water lines for the building air conditioning, and we're also running electrical conduit for the power systems. On November 2nd, we had the actual beam raising ceremony, which is considered a milestone for many of the projects that take place. With that ceremony, we actually raised the final beam that was put in place for the ED ICU project. Right now, we're installing the metal deck on the roof as well as the second floor. We'll also have a temporary enclosure around the building. With that enclosure, we're going to start to install the brick. We'll have metal studs going up inside of the building. We'll also be doing some utility work, which is the electrical and plumbing inside of the structure. Starting next year, you'll start to see the building to take shape. A lot of the bricks should be in place. We'll have the roof on, and the south end of the building will also be in place. We're very excited with the way things are going. We have very good contractors on site, very good tradesmen on site. No major issues, no accidents, so a very good team on site. We're still looking at February 2014 for the opening of the ED ICU area.
For these stories and more, you can visit our Facebook and YouTube pages for every episode of Sinai-Grace Today. Also, log on to PagingDrED.wordpress.com for great health information. I'm Lesley Harding. Thanks for watching.